In 1981, the documentary Success. The Marva Collins approach highlighted the groundbreaking teaching philosophy of Marva Collins, a Black educator from Chicago whose methods challenged the failures of the public school system. Collins, born in 1936 in Alabama, became nationally known after founding the West Side Preparatory School in 1975, inside her own home. She created this school with one clear goal: to prove that so-called unteachable children, those labeled as disruptive, slow, or incapable, could in fact succeed when given the right tools, structure, and belief in their potential. The documentary captured Collins's classroom in action, where her methods combine high expectations, discipline, and an unwavering love for her students. Instead of accepting the lowered standards of inner-city schools at the time, she introduced rigorous material, often works of classical literature, philosophy, and poetry, believing that children thrive when challenged rather than held back. Collins rejected the notion that race, poverty, or environment determined intelligence. Her students, many from Chicago's most underserved neighborhoods, read works by Shakespeare, Chaucer, and Plato, while also learning lessons of self-discipline, confidence, and critical thinking. The film emphasized that her approach was not simply about academics. It was holistic. Collins taught her students to see themselves as capable, worthy, and destined for greatness. She insisted on manners, respect, and accountability, but balanced that discipline with compassion and encouragement. The documentary demonstrated that when teachers raise their expectations and invest in children's growth, the results can be transformative. At the time of its release, Success, the Marva Collins approach served as both a powerful teaching model and a critique of the wider education system, which had failed millions of Black children by labeling them as uneducable. Collins' results proved otherwise. Her students consistently outperformed their peers, showing measurable progress and developing the confidence to achieve at levels previously denied to them.
When they walk in the door, I will say to them, welcome to success, say goodbye to failure, because here you are going to fail. I'm not going to let you fail. You're here to win. You were born to win. And if I have to care more about you than you care about you, that's the way it will be. This day has been given to me.
This day has been given to me, fresh and clean.
I can either use it,
I need to use it or throw it away. I promise it shall be used, not lost.
I will be superior.
I will be superior in my ability, in my thoughts, in my deeds,
And,
in my actions.
and you must be.
This is Marva Collins, a Chicago City school teacher who, dissatisfied with her own children's education, decided to start her own school.
Basically, 5 years ago, I felt that there were far too many children being recruited for failure. Far too many excuses being used for not educating children. Living in this area myself, I really felt that somehow there were far too many lives just hanging out there in a perilous vacuum. So I decided that whatever I did, I could do no worse. So I decided to start my own school.
West Side Preparatory School was born September 8, 1975, located in Marva's West Side Chicago home. Marva operated the school in her home for 4 years. In 1980, West Side Preparatory expanded into this former bank building a few blocks from Marva's home. Here, Marva added a staff of teachers who utilize her teaching methods with 200 students of different age levels.
What is this? Very. Okay, the is and the word is from. The vowel is and. Okay. And schools are failing because, first of all, teachers are so busy trying to make children conform to what they want them to be. And I think teachers are constantly trying to bend children to the way they think they should be. And I want to give children my love and my confidence, but I emphatically want them to have their own thoughts. I would hope their thoughts would be their own. Okay, what's the name of it? Speak up. Song of the Witches by whom? Jane, Mary, or whom? William Shakespeare. No, he didn't. Chaucer wrote it. No, he didn't. Geoffrey Chaucer wrote it. Very good. Because the teacher's mouth is no prayer. What? It's no prayer book, okay? Your book is just as good as mine. You think for yourself. It's always the children are the big U's and we are the little I's. The teachers are not the big I's in our school. No teacher in our school has a desk. We do not have a chair nor a teacher's desk. We walk all day. We serve the children. We find something positive to say about a child every morning. I like your gym shoes. I like your ribbon. I like your blue jeans. We something to say good to a child every morning. That's just as important as the curriculum. But it's, what do we say? Shazade affairs. Shazade affairs means a what? Oh, that's good. good, Eric. Very, very good. Zeta affairs mean temporary stuff. See what I mean? When we learn how to learn, see, I didn't have to tell him. When I was talking about the French CH words, he found one on his what? On his own, okay? What does that say now? To develop success without competition is to feel good about yourself, realizing that each one of us are very, very, and that principles enunciated is really no good if we do not act them out. But here, each child knows that they're very special. And I think each child develops his own self-esteem, so there's no need to be competitive.
When you're working with children, it's how you teach them. It's a certain way you teach them. Now, I've gone to other schools, and I've seen how they work with children, but it's nothing like she would teach them. She always tells them that you will never fail. You will always succeed.
That's right. And the
around we go.
very good. I think people attribute really what I do as being a miracle when it's simply hard work and preparation. Other teachers can get the same results that I get by developing a positive attitude. However, I have had many teachers work with me, and I think until one is open to suggestions about become a better anything, it doesn't have to be a teacher. And I think once we stop striving to be better and settle for average, then that's about it.
For some students, time spent in the classroom setting is not enough. Marva reserves the first hour of each day for a student who needs individual attention.
What we do is I have them come in like an hour early so that I can give them an hour of my free time with just that child and I. Circle at the top, question mark, because it asks a question. Very good. Swing back down to the line.
In one respect, Marva is a very hard, dedicated teacher. See, when you're dedicated, everything else falls in line. Everything is easy. But if you're not dedicated, quite naturally, you can't put out what you really want to. So a lot of times I come in and I work with the children about 7:30. School actually starts at 9. And we work with the children. They're often going to the board.
They'd love to come in, but now we have a whole school coming in an hour early. If I say, Bruce, you come in the morning so I can help you. That doesn't mean everyone come in, but before I know it, everyone is coming in early in the mornings, not wanting to go home at the end of the day, saying, where did the day go? And our school is very special because we don't take recess, so you would think children would be bored. But they go down one stairwell and sneak back in. That's the worst problem we have with them at the day, is getting them to go home. What's the vowel?
Is and the word is flat.
You're going not quite.
I think many people don't treat teaching as a profession where there are a set of very basic skills that you have to learn and put together in a certain way so that you get good or superior results. And she just has a way of putting together the program so that, bring those things out of the children.
Everyone say it. Glug. All right. The word is glint. Listen to the key vowel in the middle.
One of the major teaching tools at Westside Prep is the teaching of phonics. Phonics teaches not just the letters of the alphabet, but all the individual sounds of the English language.
There are about 93 basic sounds in the English language, more or less. Phonics, you simply learn every sound, syllables in words that we speak in the English language or any other language, and you sound the sounds out that are next to each other. For example, in the word mother, there are 4 basic sounds there, right? Be spoken, they can be written. We teach the children how they look, and we teach them how to write the sounds. That's phonics. Basic sounds in the English language. The children use them for spelling, for writing compositions. If you know your sounds, you can read and write anything. That's phonics.
The oak tree is growing at the
Whatever a child can read in our school, they can also spell. For example, when most children learn the cutesy alphabet song A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we teach them all the spellings there will ever be in this world for A, and that's E-I-H-A, E-Y-A, A-I-A, A. There'll never be any more. Block you, airplane, Larry, what, pop sound, looks, baby bird, yuck, yuck. Now we're sung our phonics song. Here are our vowel signals, E, I, and Y. What are vowel signals? And Y. And see, a child is missing that many spellings. That's why we have so many poor spellers across the country, because most teachers do not want to take the time to really sit there and teach them the heavy doses of phonics. The average pH word knocks a child for a loop. And yet we tell children to use a dictionary. How on earth is a child going to find the word pneumonia unless some teacher has told him that the P is silent and you take those silent words in isolation? But that means that that teacher is on their feet at the blackboard. This is not some sheet that you can give children.
And the word is...
Children learn in patterns. Our children know the rules, I before E, except after C, unless our E has the sound of A as neighbor and way. Or they know the Italian CH as in Andromache, Achilles. They know the French CH as in Charlie, Charlie. Then they know the American CH which says chat, chair. Okay? Now the Italian CH which says ca is, let's say it, ache. Ache. What does it say? Champagne. Come write Charlemagne on the board for me. Okay, that's the French CH which says what? They not only know this, they know the words too. They what they mean. But it means that I have to take these words in isolation during the entire year. But that's why we never give assigned spelling lists. Because what happens when you're assigned spelling words, they learn to spell them to pass a test. And 2 weeks later, they can't spell those words. Very good. Mike, let's give Michael a hand. Okay, what does that say? Charlie what? Charlemagne. Okay? You see the difference between this word and that word? The what? The vowel signal E hits the vowel before it and makes it say its what? Makes it say its name. You see, look, E, I, and Y are like the traffic lights. They're vowel what? They're vowel signals.
That's the advantage of knowing phonics, because once you know a sound, you recognize it in any word, anywhere, no matter how small the word is, no matter how large it is.
I cut my finger, but my puppy is what? Come on. I cut my finger, but my puppy is... You says what? What?
Marva's phonics program gets results. Students are reading well above grade levels. Students who came here because they had not learned to read in other schools.
We get the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old children that no one else will take. But our 6th graders scored 13.1, which is a college freshman level, which says that these children were bright children all the time. They simply needed someone who believed in them. They've taken the Iowa test, they've taken the California test, and I say it was a test difficult. And they'll tell me after you learn to digest the rhinoceros, you can digest anything. And they always say to me, after being here, we can pass anyone's test, we can do anything. Okay? What's the name of the play again? Macbeth. Come on, Macbeth. Okay, bye. Okay, and this is one of his tragedies. And what did I tell you the theme of the story is? Thou shalt not kill. Now, all stories have symbols, okay? Batman and Robin are what? Are symbols of justice over evil. Now, the symbols in this story, boys and girls, is blood, the witches. Witches predict, but Macbeth determines. People predict anything they want, but only we can determine whether it what? True or not. I can say, oh, you're so stupid, but that's my prediction, but only you can make it come what? That's why we should never let people tell us what we can, what we can't, what? Do. Only you can determine what happens. Now, after we finish reading today, that's going to be your written composition. People predict, I what? Determine.
Marva's curriculum is interconnected. Here Marva teaches Shakespeare to children ranging in age from 5 to 12. She does not separate children strictly by age and even mixes kids of different skill levels in the same class. Within one lesson, she will deal with story concepts, spelling, phonics, and composition. It's all part of Marva's all-out effort to help these kids learn.
Well, our children, our 4-year-olds, is to have them reading by Christmas. So we deal heavily on heavy doses of phonics. We start them with the multiplication tables. They learn to compute, to add. We start them with 2 times 3. We teach them the multiplication tables of 2s, 3s, and 4s. By Christmas, they're dividing and doing simple multiplication. They are reading, or they begin with Aesop's fables. Then they begin with the American folk rhymes. When we read and the English folk tales, The Little Red Hen, we point out that the moral of that story is if you don't work, you don't eat. And that's the motto of our school. Near lunchtime, every child will say, if you don't work, you don't eat. And I think really school should be a minute society where children learn to function in a larger scope, in a larger world. It seems now that school becomes more or less just a bypassing thing that children have to go to until you're a certain age, instead of really making them love school and love learning, where they become lifters and not leaners in the world, because every man who lifts feels better than the man who leans. You have to reach high. You have to aim high, okay? So don't feel badly, because Shakespeare is very difficult to read in the first place, and this is a tough-rate literature book, okay? Okay, 9 is what? Okay, he's weary nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
The thing of Cardor lives.
How can we ever separate reading and thinking from any subject? A child can't do well in typing class unless they know how to read and think. A child can't do well in biology, chemistry, or anything unless they have the ability to think.
Belief.
Hallelujah, you're reading. Praise the Lord.
Double,
Good
in
witch.
trouble. Fire burning, cauldron bubble. Fill it with a finny snake, and the cauldron boiling bake. I have Newton toe of frog, Willabet and tongue of dog, Alex forks and blind with stings, lizard legs and hollow swings. For a charm for power, trouble, like a hellbound boiling bubble.
Very good, Helena, 3rd stanza.
Marva's curriculum concentrates on the basics: reading, math, and composition. There are no frills, no athletics, not even recess. The children stay in one room all day with one teacher. Because of this concentrated effort, Westside sets high goals for its students.
Those who cannot read will be reading, all right, as has happened this past year. Those who are already reading will be superior readers, as well as writers, computers, and math, that they will simply develop times as fast as they would normally in another setting.
People predict I determine how I wish to live my life, how I can make it succeed, and keep it joyful. No one but me can do this. No one but me.
Ian's essay reflects one of our major premises of education here at Westside Prep. You are in charge of your own life. No one can tell you how to shape your life, what to do. We try to give the children the inspiration and the determination. We try to draw out of them the very best that's in them, to give them the skills that they need for the future so that they can be the creative, productive people we know they can be.
This because we all are smart in some way. No one is better than the other. Just remember, people predict, you determine.
No one can predict who or what you are going to become. You are in charge of your own life. You determine what you will do. That's what it's all about.
And everyone.
Marva gets her classroom materials from a variety of sources: the children's section of the local bookstore, weekly reviews of new children's books, the libraries section of children's classics. Marva believes teachers should not limit themselves to standard classroom textbooks.
I call them 2x4 teachers. They are bounded by the 2 covers of that book and the 4 walls of the classroom. It's like children living in a neighborhood and never realizing that there's a wider world out there. Well, it's the same thing with a teacher. To just read what's given to me in a classroom and not explore other means, not to explore other things, to me is really a crime.
A major factor in any learning environment is dealing successfully with discipline problems. Marva has her own unique approach.
The severe discipline problems, I think of a little story. It's like the little boy who'd been to 14 different schools. And the mother came to me in April, just begging and crying and pleading. We were here in the house at that time. My husband had been working on something upstairs, and he had left the hammer in the bathroom. The child picked up the hammer that day after one of the children in the classroom. So I looked directly in his eyes, very serious, and said, "You know, the Lord gave you your head because he thought you knew how to use it. I have a closet just filled with heads of little boys who didn't know how to use them. And I keep them until I find a little boy who really knows how to use them. Now, if I ever see you with that hammer after another child, I'm not going to move the hammer. I'm not going to put things away that you should not have. We use hammers to nail things with and not to attack people. I am going to knock that nice head of your handsome shoulders, and you won't have to worry about the burden of carrying it around anymore. I'm not going to call you mother. You're here to stay. I love you, but I'm not going to have that. No more problems." I promise that this day shall be used, not lost, gained, not thrown away. It is my life. I refuse to let Mrs. Collins love me more than I love myself. Because I do love you, and you can't stop me from loving you, and I'm not going to let you fail, so sit down and succeed. Because you don't have a choice. And that's a beautiful paper. And we're going to put it up tomorrow. Inside, it's like our Michelangelo said about the piece of marble that he carried around Italy. Inside is an angel trying to get out. And I guess I'll always think of that here, that of all the toughness and the tough talk that these children talk here on the street, inside is a child who really wants to be accepted.
Excuse me.
It's a child who really wants not to have to come in with a new show every day. That's a pressure on that child, and he's begging for someone to relieve him of that pressure. And I think that once he finds the one person that relieves him of that pressure, then he is at peace with himself. And you see, in our school, no child gives that child an audience. So therefore, there is no need for him to act out. There's no laughing if he gets smart-alecky, or if he comes out with a comment. Everyone continues to work as if he said the most normal thing in the world.
Nyla, later, put your pencil down, okay?
But I find the child who's acting out, or who's shooting the spitballs, or the older boy in the back who's clowning and goofing around, I stand right beside that child with my hand on his shoulder. And I talk directly to that child.
You're going to not fight, and you're going to talk, and you're going to what? Learn. Very good. And I know you can do it because you're very what? Sagacious. And sagacious means you are very smart.
And I think we ignore these children. They're usually sitting in the back of the room. They're the ones that are farthest behind. And I think, again, we forget what it's like to be a child. Teachers never bother to ask children if there's a problem in the home. Usually, when children act out, when children are not learning, it's a signal that something is wrong, just as our illness or our pain is a signal that something is wrong with us. And I don't think educators see this as a signal. I consider myself parent and teacher. It's my responsibility to let my lessons go for a few minutes to find out what's bothering this child. Here, it's smooth. Be happy the pencil is broken and you aren't. Okay? See, there's always a good side. Just we can get another pencil. Many discipline problems have been very, very old. And I think we have to examine that. Maybe we're not reaching this child. And I've heard teachers say, stop the doodling. But if I have a child who likes to draw in my classroom, I'll say, that's a beautiful picture. But you know what I want you to do? I want you to write a story about that beautiful picture. So he's drawing, and he's also gotten the skills that I want him to get too. I think you have to always use positively whatever he does. If they're acting up or they're constantly chewing gum, I'll have them write a composition, The Art of Chewing Gum. You threw the paper, so you're going to write a composition called what? Why I Throw Paper. It's dumb and stupid to sit up and write, I will not throw paper 1,000 times. We don't do that. Everything here is to learn. Say, give me you. Give me you. I like reading. How about you? Come on. I believe in universal children. I don't think red, green, white, pinstripe, polka dot. I think quality. I think universal. I think that despite if there's prejudice or whatever, and I say to our children, that's that person's problem. When you become part of the problem, then you're a problem too. You must all be universal so that you can function any place. Not just here in your neighborhood, but as citizens like Socrates, as citizens of the world. But when a child has skills, feels good about himself, there's no reason to hurt other people. There's no reason to act out. I love the way you tried. Let's give him a big, big hand, and then he gets another hand because he tried. Come on.
And I think basically a child knows that you are really concerned about and you're working with them very closely. And I feel that that discipline problem can be corrected through that.
Look, there is nothing wrong with you. You just have not been taught. I don't want you to get this, I'm dumb, I'm stupid. There is nothing wrong with you. You are somebody because God didn't make any junk. All right?
Sometimes I forget my last name.
That's all right. If you can't forget your last name, don't worry about it. Just calm down. We're here to help you. Okay? The problem children have problems all the way around, ironically. It's no lunch, no money, no skills, no self-image either. It's really because they never really discovered the unique them. They never really discovered that what they're seeking for is already within them. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Somehow children read that all across the country, and teachers never point out to the children, oh, it's a cute story, but they never point out the moral of the story, that what they're looking for, each one has. That the lion already has courage. It's all within our realms if we stop looking outside of us for it. You can, Scott. You can. If you don't think too thoroughly, you can't. You can.
The success of these children and of Westside Preparatory School is the result of dedication, positive thinking, hard work, and love. Patricia Juergens offers a final thought for teachers who want their students to say, I can.
Teach yourself. Learn as much as you can about education. Never assume that you know it all. I've been teaching 10 years. I've learned so much from Marva. Never assume that because somebody has given you a superior rating, that this automatically makes you superior. We're never finished learning. Teach yourself. Continue to learn. Continue to grow so that the children that you're teaching can also grow.
Regardless of how far behind a child is, it's my responsibility, it's their responsibility, it's our responsibility as educators to make sure that the child does not stay there. In other words, to make the poor student good and the good student superior with no excuses in between.